Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, October the 13th. I hope you're not superstitious on Friday, October the 13th. JOAN STACK is with us. Good day. You don't mind that today is Friday?
Oh, no.
Okay. JOAN STACK, the State Historical Society. And here is a lady who when I introduce her, I think of you as a walking encyclopedia. You are such a knowledgeable lady.
Well, that's certainly nice of you to say. I don't always feel that way.
It's true. It's true. Today, what do we want to deal with the Historical Society?
Usually I'm here talking to you about artworks that are historical.
Right.
Often the artists are long dead, but today I'm going to be talking about a small exhibition that we're putting up in our corridor gallery of 6 large format photographs that were taken mostly in the last 3 years by an artist here in town, a photographer by the name of Jon Luvelli. He goes by just his last name, Luvelli.
Luvelli.
Yes. And he's making this donation to the State Historical Society, and what I really like about it is he is going out and taking photographs of those Missourians that don't usually get photographed, the people that are sort of overlooked in society. Mm-hmm. And you'll see how we'll look at a couple.
The first one.
Yes.
The first picture that we have. If you're listening on the radio, Joan, you're going to have to paint a very vivid picture of what we're looking at, and if you're watching it online or on television right now.
Yes.
What is this?
So this is a man. He's obviously a very elderly man, very thin. He could be a man who lives on the streets, but again, that's me projecting something on there. But he is raising his shirt to expose his torso, which is covered in tattoos. And he's looking straight at the camera. And of course, it's a black and white photograph, so you can see every kind of crevice of his wrinkles, all the parts of his skin that are kind of dry, but you also see all of these interesting tattoos on his body.
And literally, you're not exaggerating, every part of his body is covered with tattoos.
Yeah, and so what I see here that makes this powerful to me, I don't know the history of this person, but I create my own stories about him, and to me he sort of represents kind of a spirit of these people who are left out of society. He's that spirit, and his history, the history of him, of our humanity, is sort of written on his body.
Yeah.
In those wrinkles, in those marks of just living, but also in those tattoos, that we have to make sense of. We see a skull, we see a gun, we see several female figures.
Don't we see Superman?
Well, he's wearing Superman pajama bottoms, which adds this other interesting narrative element out of our pop culture.
Yeah.
So in a way, is this, our Superman? Is this? So there's all sorts of interesting connotations, interesting associations that we can make from each element of this image.
So now this is one of the photos.
This is one of the ones.
How large are the photos?
Oh, they're very large. I mean, they're painting-size photographs.
Yeah.
So
the great detail.
Yes.
Now, the next one that we have.
Yeah, this one is called Beyond Destruction. And what you see is a dilapidated home. And my understanding is this is a home that has burned down out in rural Missouri somewhere. And so it's called Beyond Destruction, I think, Missouri 2016. So this is a recent image. So you see this dilapidated home, and immediately I think you have this sense of loss. But in the foreground is a little child with an inflatable lollipop, and she's poking her head through the hole in the lollipop and smiling. So a sort of a sense of life goes on even in the midst of tragedy.
Right.
And there's something sort of optimistic about it, but a little bit odd, a little bit strange.
Now, did he set out to take these particular pictures, or was he traveling with his camera and saw something interesting and decided to photograph it?
I think it's the latter. He's a street photographer, though sometimes the street is the rural parts of Missouri. He's a street photographer who goes out and he goes into communities that, again, are sometimes not documented very well, and he tries to find the essence of those people, of those communities.
Right.
So he creates a mirror of who we are as Missourians, broadens our understanding of our culture and our people.
Many times we tend to not think of this group of humanity as part of humanity.
That's right. These are sometimes the forgotten
Yeah.
people. And
Yeah.
again, with each photo, they are real people, but they become characters in a kind of a fictional drama, fiction and yet nonfiction.
Right.
In fact, we make up our own dramas associated with them.
One last picture that you have here.
Yeah, and this one is called She Fell, and it shows a woman in the foreground with a black eye, and there's a man behind her, and they're in front of a smoothie shop. And so there's this strange popular culture element. This is in Columbia, along the streets of Columbia. And so we have this, this tragedy of perhaps she fell, perhaps she was hit. I mean, we see that she has a black eye. This tragedy represented, but at the same time, the smoothie shop with the kind of bubbly images. So it's that underside of humanity, those things that maybe we don't usually want to look at. He makes us look at them and in some ways see the beauty or at least the profundity of these people and these images.
Right. And I'm looking at her eyes, there's something haunting
Yeah.
about the eyes themselves.
Yeah.
So how many separate photographs will be there?
There'll be 6, so you'll really be able to look at the images and think about them. And in the future, we are working on trying to have the photographer come for an artist reception, where maybe he would be available to talk a little bit about these images. But on October 17th, you'll be able to come and see them. And I think it would be an interesting thing to do if you're coming to the society.
Is it only one day?
No,
It'll be up
for a while, and it will probably be up through the holidays. So this would be, you could come and you can see the old art in our large gallery, and in this corridor you can see a contemporary artist who's also exploring the nature of our state, the nature of our people.
Okay, that will be on October the
17th. We're
that's
opening.
a Tuesday.
Yes.
That's a Tuesday opening, October the 17th. For more information, it's the State Historical Society. The website is?
The website is shsmo.org.
Okay. Or if people want to call for more information?
Oh, they can call us at 573-882-7083.
Okay. Will there be anything special coming up for the holidays?
Well, we are going to be opening another exhibit, and I hope to come and talk to you about that
We'll
soon.
tell you about that the next time that you're on. JOAN Stack, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You're one of the most interesting ladies that I talked to.
Well, thanks.
Okay, from the State Historical Society. Monday, Missouri River Relief and Missouri Coalition for Quality Care. If there's something that you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Just drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. Have yourself a good weekend. Bye-bye.